Good morning, boys and girls, lads and ladsettes. How are you? I hope you're all okay today. Right, final reveal time. I have completed the kit that you see in front of you. A bit about the kit. Thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest. It has tested me a lot. Fit issues galore, to be honest, as I've shown you in my last update. I've only done 2 updates because by the time I'd done all that I just wanted to crack on, and to be honest I've done it and cracked on and done quite well, for time wise I mean. Yeah, it's been a pig of a kit, which is, I've been informed by a lot of guys, it's very shocking really, considering it's an Academy kit. I mean, I know Academy armour kits aren't the greatest, the older ones aren't, but I know that a lot of the new, more modern Academy kits are a lot better. Hence the new Tusk Abrams that they brought out last year. That was an awesome kit. I had that in my last stash, and it gave the Meng and Ryefield and the Tamiya Tusks a massive run for the money. I mean, it even came for masks, paper masks for the Tusk armour windows and everything, which I thought was a brilliant touch really, because that can, with building a Tusk from the last build, is a bit tedious at times. Anyway, yeah, this kit, first 148 fighter aircraft I've done, and only my second 148 kit. As you guys that follow me will know, I'm trying to get back into aircraft as well as the army. So this is my second, like I say, aircraft build I've done since I've started taking the hobby more seriously. So yeah, it's okay. Like I say, I've enjoyed it. I had to change the base colours a couple of times because the one I chose wasn't particularly great. It seemed a bit too black for like sort of what I wanted, sort of thing. But anyway, I'll show you the kit and show you the build. So with no further ado, let's have a look at her, shall we? So here she is. Like I say, I've thoroughly enjoyed doing it. Like I say, she's really properly testing me. What I shall do is I shall in a bit just put her on pause, and then I'll just go a bit closer, because with the lighting and that you can't particularly see a lot of the weathering and stuff that I've done. Yeah, and inside the cockpit I've tried to detail up myself. There's no added extras with this kit at all. I've done it all myself. The seat belts in the middle in the cockpit have all been done myself. Scratch built and done. I've had a few mishaps here and there. Some of the decals really are thick. The decals on this kit are thick as anything. I know a lot of Academy kits do have cartograph for their decals, but this one isn't. I think perhaps more of the more modern Academy kits are now using cartograph. I've done the machine guns on streaking and that with pigments. The petrol cap, which is, let's get a pointy stick. The petrol cap, which is here, I've sort of I've added a bit of streaking there, but sort of smudged it a bit more and down the sides there, and then on the other side I've streaked it a bit finer, just just to mess it up a little bit. The canopy, if it suddenly pings off, isn't attached properly. When I've masked it up and everything, I always use either masking solution or white glue, which is either use one of these two, the Microcell stuff or the Mr. Hobby stuff, which is really good, or I use the white glue stuff, which is the Micro Industries, Microscale Industries Crystal Clear. The super glues I've used, I've had to use super glue for certain things, like getting certain bits glued back on again. I always use the Dulux material stuff. This is the stuff that is lethal, which I've had a couple of mishaps on. But what I've done is I've sort of gone over that and chipped, make it look a bit chipped, as you can do. You know, like Glenn said, Hallidan. At least if your ball's up on a on an armour kit, you can just stick loads of mud over it, which is true, I suppose. But on aircraft, it's a bit more finer, I suppose. And then I also use the 10 to 20 second bonding time, just to give it. The only thing with that is it's quite thick, but that just gives you a bit of extra time to play with, you know, before it settles. Yeah, so what I've done is I've used your microset set and sol for the decals, and then on the really thick ones I've gone over it with a bit of, excuse me, the X20A thinner. But you've got to be, it's brilliant this stuff is for the decals, but you've got to be so careful when doing it, because if you're not, you disintegrate your decals a few times, you know, can so easily. It's Tamiya stuff, the X20A obviously, but I certainly wouldn't use it with Tamiya decals. I mean, Tamiya decals, as we all know, are notoriously bad, but I don't tend to have a problem with them. I really don't. I don't know why. Just one or two I've only ever had problems with. Perhaps I've just been lucky with the kits I've got or something, I don't know. But yeah, so I've basically tried to use, apart from the base colour, MIG ammo paints for the majority of it. Like so, the silvers, the blacks, and the yellows, and the interiors, I've used MIG ammo paints. I just wanted to give it a go on aircraft, see if I could sort of get used to spraying them again, and that, which for some reason I have got used to, and they do work for me. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's the wire on the back here is just normal fishing wire. I don't even know what it is. I think it's 20 to 2, I can't remember, something mil stuff anyway. The cockpit is, I know that a load of guys will pick out, is actually yellow, but on the colour call out, it actually states that colour, which is zinc chrome yellow, zinc chromate yellow, and I've put it on, and all my flaming research pictures and everything, it looks like British camouflage colour green. So I don't know, but that's the set I got it out of, MIG ammo 5 set, which is number 7434. It's World War II USA interiors, and what you get a base colour, which is the zinc chromate yellow. Then you get I think it's a filter, which is for yellow surfaces, and then you get the engine grime for some reason, which is obviously griming the thing up. But yeah, like I say, I've thoroughly enjoyed the build. It's tested me a hell of a lot. It really has. But I've enjoyed it. I've weathered all the engine up. I added some in my previous video. I said I've weathered it up with and added some fuse wire just around the coils. You can't actually see it now, it's all been sealed in, but you know, I thought you could do, but you obviously can't. There's a couple of decals that I've added extra onto this kit, like the Jolly Rogers, the skull and crossbone. I love that, I just really do. So I put one on there and one on the other side on this actual version. In the decals call out, it doesn't actually say to do that. And also the flags, the Japanese flags here, of obviously the amount of planes that this particular pilot has shot down, and that I don't know. But I've attempted to chip a couple of decals here and there as well, just to make it look a bit worn. And then instead of giving it a pin wash, what I did is I gave it a sludge wash and just painted basically the panel liner, which I've just used the AK stuff, the brown and green camouflage stuff, which is AK2071. I've just basically painted it all over, and then instead of doing the stuff of with a cotton bud, I've just got a paper towel and just basically wiped it off, and it's worked a treat. I mean, there's a couple of places I've had to go back over and put it back in, but I also did that on purpose because the decals were that thick and bright that obviously I wanted them to look worn and blended in a bit, so it was a bit you know, hit and miss really. I mean, they still look a bit too much for my liking, but still. I went with a worn, you know, aircraft. I know a lot of these mainly blue aircrafts were off the cruisers, you know, the battleships and that, the cruisers, the aircraft carriers. So, you know, a lot of them probably would have been, you know, cleaned and all that type of thing. But I just wanted one just to look a bit more worn. I wanted to use it as a bit of a test thing because I've got a couple of aircraft coming up soon that I want to build. I want to do a proper good job. And on this one, I wanted to, with it being such just a normal, you know, a plain sort of one colour aircraft, I wanted to make it look a bit of a half decent job for Matt as well. With it being Matt's first sort of group build he's hosting. You know, but yeah. So that's about it I can say about the kit really. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I've added a bit of the dust on the wheels is the AK stuff again, which is the landing dust effect gear, which is AK-2031. And then the engine oil, instead of using the normal stuff I use for aircraft and for my armour and stuff, I try and use different types of stuff. And this is actually the AK aircraft stuff, which is leaks, kerosene and stains, which is AK-2039, and that's for the, you know, the petrol cap and that there for the fuel tank. I used that there, I thought why not. So yeah, and the pigments I've used AK again, basically just black for the fuel underneath, the exhaust stains, and also the machine gun stains, just basically the black pigments, which is AK-039, and also on the exhaust underneath, I'll show you in a minute, I always put the main sort of exit and entrance of the exhaust, I always paint sort of a wet shiny black because of obviously the fuel coming out and stuff, and I always use an oil for that, and it's the Abteilung 502 range, and it's ABT 005, which is the smoke colour. It's basically black, it just looks good, looks like, yeah, so that's about it really guys. So what I shall do is I shall just stick you on pause a minute while I move the camera, and then I'll give you some close-ups, and obviously it will be a bit wonky, so you'll have to excuse me because I'm holding it by hand. Okay guys, so here she is quite a bit closer. I'll try and do it so you can see. Again, you're not going to see it brilliantly because of the time of day. We're still like mid-morning, well, early morning. It's not even 5 o'clock yet, and you know, so I've got the lights on here in Britain because it's wet outside. Here, as you can see, I've sort of I've chipped sort of the decal there. As you can see, there's a bit of bubbling in that, which is difficult. What I've done is for the chipping, I've sort of chipped it with a light blue colour, which I've had to use the Model Air, which is intermediate blue, which is 71.113. So what I've done is I've gone over light chipping with that, and then I've used the MIG Ammo 191 steel for the chipping with the sponge technique I've used on this time. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy, you know, for change again. It seems to have come out okay for me. Let's go and have a quick look into the cockpit. I don't know if you can see all that well. You're not going to see great because obviously I've only got the this tablet, so I do apologise, guys. But there you go. You might see the pigments dirtied up at the bottom, and that, as you can see, there's the seat belts that are scratch built. Again, it just gives it a bit of extra look. You know, it's not too bad. From here, they look okay to me. As you can see, I've chipped the interior as well. The actual cockpit glass has come out well for me because I always balls that up all the time. I balls that up. As you can see here, you've got the streaking on here of the machine guns where they fire. Bit of streaking of the kerosene and that. So yeah, it's okay. I'm quite happy with it so far. Oops, nearly. And then if we turn her over, I don't know if we can do it this way. If I break it now, I'm going to blame Matt Hill just because I want to. Right, there we go, guys. I've added pigments to the wheelbase, which are obviously there. Also the streaking here for the machine guns. You can see the washi stuck out a bit there. There's 3 lights there, which the call out was for the green, red and orange. I don't know if I've got them in the right way round, but I don't care. There you can just pick out both streaking for the machine guns again there, a bit of dust on the wheels, and also the streaking for the exhaust. I don't know if you can you see how it's like quite shiny for the main exhaust there. And then of course it goes with the smoke, where the smoke will have gone as it's travelling along. There you can pick out a boohoo with the super glue, so I've just tried to add a bit more silver over it. I mean, you can tell that it's super glue, but you know, who cares, it's not massively perfect. This thing closest to your screen now, right on the end here, I constantly snap that off about 900 times, so you know, but there you go. Yeah, so all in all, I've been quite happy with it. It's not too bad. It's not been a terrible build by any stretch of the imagination, but it has been the first one in a long time that it really has tested me. So, but like you say, it's good because we're modelers, and that's what we want a lot of the time, don't we? So just hang on a sec, guys, put you on pause. Okay, guys, so yeah, so there she is, final sort of roll now, because I've been rattling on for long enough just for a final reveal. There's been really tiny decals that I've had to stick on the sides, which have done, you know, okay. Bit of patience. But like Matt says, you know, with a bit of effort and a bit of care and attention, you know, you can do wonders with a kit, which is right. There is one tip I will say. I always tend to balls up the chipping. I always do way too much. And again, guys who love in aircraft and that will probably be thinking this is way too chipped for whatever, which fair enough, you know, I agree. Again, like I say, it's my second aircraft, so you know, I'm learning, and every time I'm learning. But it's definitely right what they say. Now what I do is I do about 20 minutes, if that, 10-20 minutes, and then I make sure I leave it and go and either leave the room and take the dog for a walk, or I go down and make a brew or anything just to have a bit of a break, even if it's just for about 2 or 3 minutes, just to walk away, because when you come back you've got more fresher eyes and you can see, you know, and with chipping, less is definitely more, you know, it really is. Anyway, guys, by the by, that's it, guys. So there's the final reveal. This is the final reveal for Matt Hill's Pacific Wars group build. Big thanks to Matt for hosting it. Done a great job, mate. I've really enjoyed it, and thanks for letting me take part. I hope you all stay safe, and may the force be with you.